guys, this is Ackley Tack4427 here with another special video for all of you guys, and yeah, I guess if anything, I'm back after being gone for like an entire week since after, you know, when I did my thoughts video talking about Disney's live-action remake on Pinocchio, which, yeah, if you have seen my thoughts video on that, you'll pretty much know I absolutely hated the hang-up for sure, but hey, I'm letting that go right about now, and yeah, truth be told, I've actually been quite busy for the past week, because, yeah, for the past weekend right about now, I've actually been pretty busy for sure, and, yeah, mainly because my girlfriend, Casamelli, came up to my area for a really nice visit for sure, so it was really nice seeing her for sure, and Casamelli, if you're watching this, love you, yeah, love you, my girl, so yeah, it was really great fun having her visit my area for sure, and I'm glad that she actually had a blast for sure, and yeah, pretty much since after all that, it's back to business as normal, because yeah, I've got plenty of video projects that I'm currently working on as we speak, so I need to get those done for sure, and not to mention, in less than a month, I gotta get myself prepped up for a Retro Game Con that's coming up this October, so yeah, I'm really excited to be coming back to that convention, and don't worry, I will promise I will put out a promo video that'll go up on my second channel sometime later, just well in advance before the convention rolls around, and maybe I might shoot to actually do some to do other promos on here if I can cramming as much time as I possibly can alongside working on plenty of videos for sure, so yeah, I guess if anything, those are what I got planned right now. Now that this past weekend has really got me busy for sure, hence why I haven't been active on YouTube very often. So yeah, I guess you can pretty much get the idea on this point. So yeah, with that being said, I think we might as well go ahead and dive right into today's video right about now. So yeah, I guess ever since last month, I actually did a video talking about my time I was a part of Trackmaster54's Adventures of Phineas and Ferb. I think it makes sense to actually talk about another series that my good buddy Trackmaster54 has actually made for sure, and well, unlike pretty much his Adventures of Phineas and Ferb, which has long since ended for sure, this one, however, is of course still currently going on as we speak. But yeah, but believe it or not, since after pretty much seasons 6 to 10 has officially been out, pretty much seasons 1 to 5 has actually had a bit of a resurgence very recently. So yeah, and if you couldn't tell right now for today's video, I think it's about time that I would, of course, talk about Trackmaster54's main Thomas parody series that he's currently doing right now, which is, of course, TOMY and Trackmaster T&F. So yeah, I guess if anything, I think that's pretty much what I kind of figure I would do today. I think it makes sense that I would go ahead and talk about my time I'm actually part of course, pretty much Trackmaster54's Thomas series, TOMY and Trackmaster T&F, as well as, of course, some projects that I've actually worked on for sure, both no longer in existence right about now, to ones that of course have existed for some time, to even some that I haven't really gotten around to working on more often compared to when I first started those for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, that's of course what I'm going to be talking about here today. So yeah, I think you can pretty much get the idea on that. So yeah, with that being said, I think we might as well go ahead and get started on that. So yeah, I think I guess if anything, pretty much if anything, if you have seen my previous Trackmaster54 video that I did talk about for sure, I think I guess if anything, I actually did come into a like with, of course, Trackmaster54 around 2011 for sure, and I think I knew after viewing his videos for sure, I was like, yeah, pretty much around the time he had his original account, pretty much all those years ago for sure, and this was probably long before he made his the new Trackmaster54 account to yeah, as well as of course his two other Trackmaster54 accounts, with the second one he's still currently using right about now. Yeah, I think I knew right away that when I actually saw his videos, I was like, my God, I want to work with this guy. So yeah, I guess if anything, yeah, I guess if anything, I was of course really hooked on with of course what Trackmaster54 has actually done for sure in terms of some really good videos for sure. Do they have problems? Yeah, pretty much, but I can't deny for the fact that that of course it actually grown in popularity for sure, and even nowadays pretty much his videos have ranked up of course pretty much hundreds to even thousands of views. In fact, compared to mine for sure, most of them of course yeah, or pretty much almost all of them for sure landing of course the double to triple digits for sure, which yeah, I guess you can pretty much get the idea on that. So yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much, if anything, I think probably, I guess, Trackmaster54 has, of course, what actually led me to, of course, gaining popularity for sure. And, of course, it's probably the most recognizable work I've done in terms of collabing with, of course, plenty of other, content creators on YouTube for sure in the Thomas community, like not just my girlfriend Casameligy, but also Sam the Thomas Fan 1 and of course Decoming H and plenty of others that I can think of at the top of my head for sure. So yeah, and I guess if anything, pretty much from what I can gather, I didn't come into a like pretty much being a part of pretty much Trackmaster54's Thomas series right up until close to late 2011 for sure, where I actually debut my appearance as of course the garbage engine himself, Whiff. So yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much my breakout role as Whiff and of course John's Thomas series for sure is of course pretty much my first time actually being a part of course his series for sure, which again was followed up by my debut appearance in of course his Adventures of Phineas and Ferb with the episode The Necessary Roughness for sure, and pretty much when I actually started out, I think pretty much when I had my headset mic for sure, and I wanted to try my hand at, of course, voicing Whiff. I think I actually did make it sound like pretty much I have my nose plug on, like pretty much how you would normally picture Whiff, yeah, pretty much the voice of Whiff for sure. So yeah, it almost kind of sounded that way, but I guess if anything, nowadays when I actually voice Whiff, I wanted to actually try to get my voice a little bit more nasally for sure, because yeah, I think when you're actually playing a garbage engine that handles garbage, I think it actually would suit the voice for sure. So yeah, I think it's pretty much clear on that front for sure. So yeah, and I guess since after that, I actually decided to do a little bit more voice work for not just Whiff, but also for plenty of other characters that I've actually pretty much did for sure. Like of course, pretty much from what I can remember, I actually did voice pretty much the quote-unquote funny engine Charlie in his series, and of course, in addition to that, I also provide the voice for pretty much one of the Phineas and Ferb characters, which is, well, Phineas. And yes, by the way, in John's series, he actually did bring in characters from Phineas and Ferb for sure, which, yeah, pretty much around that time, he is, of course, a big fan of course, that said show. Hence why he actually also did his own Adventures of Phineas and Ferb all those years ago, for sure. So yeah. yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much from what I can gather, I think with the Phineas and Ferb characters he added into his own Thomas series, he actually did call them the Danville Locos, just to help correspond with, of course, them being part of the Thomas universe. Why, you may ask? Well, I honestly don't know, but it's Trainboy 54 series, so he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, that's pretty much my answer I can give right about now, So yeah, I guess if anything, I actually did do Charlie and Phineas in addition to Whiff for sure. So I guess, but I think I knew sometime later I've decided to pretty much give them a long pass for sure, and actually decided to go for two other characters that I want to voice for sure, which are of course two other Thomas characters, which are of course Neville and Charlie for sure. Yeah, well, not Neville and Charlie, but Neville and Stanley. So yeah, there we go. That's what I'm referring to over here about now. So yeah, I guess if anything, since after I did Charlie and Phineas for sure, I've decided to pretty much stop voicing them for sure, and actually sell on, of course, Neville and Stanley as my replacements for sure, while I still provide the voice for Whiff for sure, and I guess for Stanley for sure, I guess it's quite obvious that I will of course go for a really nice British accent for sure, or at least my attempt at a British accent for sure, but needless to say, I say it turned out okay for sure, and I still had a fun time voicing Stanley for sure, so. And as for Neville, I've actually decided to go for a different approach for, of course, Neville for sure, and actually try my hand in giving Neville an Australian accent for sure, probably mainly because I did remember as a kid, I've actually pretty much watch a lot of pretty much the Crocodile Hunter with, of course, well, Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter himself. So I was kind of course, probably giving Neville an Australian accent, sort of similar to how Steve Irwin will actually say, like, of course, pretty much, yeah, if anything, I think in terms of some. Yeah, I think in some takes for sure, where of course I actually voice Neville for sure, I actually did unleash that big of a Australian accent for sure, going with of course me going like, oh crikey, so yeah, pretty much if anything, I did try my hand at, of course, giving Neville an Australian accent for sure, just to make his character my own for sure, So, yeah, I guess that's what I can gather, though. I'm not sure if Trainboy54 himself actually caught on to the idea that I decided to give Neville a Australian accent for sure, but either way, I think I know for sure that pretty much he still wants to put out the best that he can for sure, and I don't blame him for sure, So yeah, those are of course the three characters that I stuck with for sure. Pretty much voicing with Neville and of course Stanley for sure, which I am still currently doing nowadays. But it wasn't until pretty much very recently when of course pretty much from what I can gather, I do know Trainboy54 did re-upload pretty much an episode of his TOMY and Trackmaster T&F, centering around, of course, Vanessa, Candace, and of course Charlie. And believe it or not, I actually did come back to voice Charlie for sure. And of course, unlike last time, where of course I decided to make him a little bit more peppy and upbeat for sure. Pretty much what I did is, of course, I actually went a different approach for sure, because around that time, John actually contacted me asking me if I can redo pretty much my lines for Charlie for sure, and I was a bit hesitant at first because I've already pretty much long since past voicing Charlie for sure, and I just gave up on, of course, pretty much voicing him, but again, he really does need hands down, so I kind of figure, yeah, you know what, I think I might as well come back to voice Charlie for sure, and of course I did manage to redo my lines for sure, and I actually did some things massively different with, of course, the character for sure, which I wish I should have done all those years ago for sure, but I'm glad that I actually got to redo them for sure. So yeah, pretty much of anything over the course for the past several years for sure, well over, yeah, I dare even say well over a decade now, I'm actually stuck with, of course, voicing, of course, John's series for a long time now, and I have to say it's still well worth it for sure, so yeah. And of course, currently as of right now, according to, of course, TrainBoy54's current YouTube channel, he's still in the process of course, finishing up on, of course, re-uploading all the episodes all throughout Season 2 of his Thomas series for sure, and of course, the 8th and final episode of that series, which is, of course, A Friend in Need for sure, that I'm actually really excited for, and hey, much like with what I did with, of course, Charlie for sure, I think there could be a strong possibility that I may actually come back and redo my lines for with the Garbage Engine for sure, because yeah, compared to, of course, the first time, I have to say, maybe I think I do need a big reset buttoning, of course, with lines for sure, just as a way to, of course, get things off my chest for sure, So yeah, I do hope that eventually happens later on for sure, because yeah, I think it'll actually be well worth it for sure. But again, I think it's up to John for sure if he would actually let me do that for sure. Maybe he might let me redo my lines for Whiff. Maybe not. We shall see. So, yeah, I guess if anything, that's pretty much what I can say for, of course, my time. I was, of course, a part of TOMY and Trackmaster T&F for sure. But it's not just that for sure. There is, of course, one other thing that I should mention for sure. And that being, of course, all the projects that I've actually worked on revolving around John's series for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, I did look back on, of course, pretty much my old archives in my email for sure, and of course, I've gotten a good amount of notes that I've actually written down for sure, just for exactly that for sure. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to, of course, pretty much go through the list of projects that I worked on for John's Thomas series for sure. So yeah, pretty much a really interesting trip down memory lane for sure when it comes to, of course, doing John's Thomas series for some time for sure. So yeah, and of course, for starters, around the time I've actually settled on, of course, working on, of course, TrainBoy54's Thomas series, pretty much the first project that I've actually done, which really got things going for sure, was, of course, pretty much his Easter Spring special that he did, which is, of course, The Wizard of Odor, and pretty much all that is for sure is, of course, pretty much a Thomas the Tank Engine version of course, the good old classic story, The Wizard of Oz, for sure. So yeah, I think what pretty much got me the idea in the first place is that, believe it or not, I may go into this in a different video for sure, but there was a time during my high school years for sure that I actually did try my hand at, of course, writing an official musical yeah, pretty much an official stage musical based around one episode of Phineas and Ferb that I really loved a whole lot, which was, of course, The Wizard of Oz for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, pretty much around the time I've actually finished writing up that for sure, and again, I may go into that in a different video later on for sure. Pretty much when I got to start work on, of course, being part of John's series, I've actually decided to, of course, write up a script for, of course, one episode of his series, that would later become an official special that came out around Easter of 2013, which was, of course, The Wizard of Odor, and pretty much all that is of course, again, a Thomas the Tank Engine version of the Wizard of Oz for sure, and of course I actually did place the characters in his series into different roles for sure, like of course I will have Rosie pretty much take in the place of course, Dorothy, and of course, Thomas as, of course, the Scarecrow, and of course, Gordon as a tree, taking the place of the Tin Man, and of course, Percy as a tiger, made to represent the Cowardly Lion, and of course, let's not forget to mention Emily playing a Good Witch, which is, of course, representing Glinda the Good Witch, and of course, Spencer as a Warlock, made to actually represent the Wicked Witch of the West, and yeah, that's just to name a few for sure, and that includes Phineas and Ferb representing the Wizard for sure, so yeah, pretty much if anything, it's pretty much the same storyline as, of course, the pretty much the Wizard of Oz story for sure, but with, of course, a pint of course, pretty much the Phineas and Ferb episode that I mentioned, the Wizard of Oz, but it's just mainly Thomas related for sure, so yeah, I guess if anything for that special that I did, all I did was, of course, I actually wrote the script out just fine for sure, and I think for what it is entirely, I think it's really well worth it for sure, and I guess looking back on it now, yeah, maybe I wish there could have been a whole lot of stuff that could have been focused a whole lot more for sure, just to make it all the more interesting for sure, but then again, I was starting out for sure, so yeah, hopefully maybe within a matter of time, seeing how John is, of course, working out, of course, pretty much re-uploading and re-editing his TOMY and Trackmaster T&F series, maybe I think he might actually give the Wizard of Odor a massive redo for sure, in a way to actually make it a whole lot more focused for sure, so yeah, that's actually one project that I did for sure, which really did get things going for sure, so yeah, and of course, sometime later, I will, of course, pretty much try my hand at, of course, crafting another project that I wanted to do with Train Boy 54, and that being, of course, one of the movies that sadly never saw the light of day, which was, of course, TOMY and Trackmaster T&F Sordor Knights, and pretty much for what it is of course, pretty much a John's Thomas series take on, of course, one of the anniversary specials that was, of course, released by Channel Awesome and the people of That Guy with the Glasses, which was, of course, Suburban Knights, and of course, pretty much all it is, of course, a website around me joining pretty much the Thomas characters, and of course the Danville Locos on a magical quest to help find the gauntlet for sure. So yeah, yeah, I think just by saying that out loud for sure, it definitely sounds like a Suburban Knights ripoff for sure, and yeah, looking back on it right now, it kind of is for sure, So again, nothing too basic for sure. All I did was, of course, write out the script for that movie for sure, and I sent it to John that way, hoping that we would have it out somewhere around 2013 for sure, because yeah, pretty much around the time I've actually wrote up the script, pretty much, I think I came up with the idea right around 2011 for sure, and I did actually write out the script for the hang around 2012 for sure, and again, I think part of it actually did happen around the YouTube War of Summer 2012 for sure, so yeah, to which again I did talk about in its own video of pretty much a couple months ago, so definitely go check that out if you want the full details on that, So yeah, I did manage to write up the script and sent it over to John, and we were kind of hoping to have it out somewhere around 2013 for sure, but of course as the years went on, and of course I got delayed numerous times until I officially decided, yeah, maybe I think it's best if I just stop altogether, because yeah, this project is actually gone nowhere for sure. So yeah, I guess if anything, it is of course one of the projects that I worked on for Trainboy54 that has sadly been canceled for sure and never saw the light of day for sure. But hey, it was worth a try for sure. And of course, if anything, it's not the one TOMY and Trackmaster T&F movie project that I've actually tried my hand in working on for sure, to which I will go on onto that later on for sure. So anyways, onto of course the next project that I did, which is of course pretty much since I actually did mention a friend in need for sure, that said project I worked on for John for sure is actually that said episode for sure. But unlike of course pretty much the current version of course that said episode that John has put out for some time, the one that I crafted for John is actually far different than what he had in his mind for sure. As of course, believe it or not, the plot of course that said episode would of course center around Percy and of course Phineas and Ferb meeting 3 new engines for sure, which are of course Molly, Billy, and of course the character I'm currently voicing with, and of course pretty much since they're new to the island and they need help with, of course, plenty of shunting in the yard. So Percy, Phineas, and Ferb decide to help them out that way for sure. While at the same time, there's, of course, an entire subplot going around, centering around, of course, Thomas and another Phineas and Ferb character, Isabella. So yeah, not going into a full detail on what happened, but yeah, I think if anything, that's pretty much the original script I actually wrote out for sure. But again, I think with the current version that John has put out all those years ago, that said original script never got materialized for sure. So yeah, maybe hopefully within a matter of time, I do hope that maybe John might actually look at that and probably reworking and redo some things to make it a completely different episode than the one currently that's currently out for sure. Or even better yet, maybe there's a strong possibility that I may actually do the same thing and actually reworking and rematerialize it to make it an episode of my own for sure. So but yeah, only time will tell on that for sure. But needless to say, as much as I do love the current version of course, A Friend in Need that John has put out, maybe I think there could be some possibilities that the original script I wrote up all those years ago might actually come to a fruition for sure. But again, it's mainly up for it's up to John for sure on exactly that. So yeah, I guess moving on from all that, the next project that I'm going to be talking about, which, believe it or not, is actually my greatest accomplishment for sure, which did take a long time to actually make, but I'm actually really glad that it's actually made in the way that it's in right about now, and that being, of course, one episode that I wrote up, Expedition Thomas, and of course, going into detail on, of course, that's an episode, pretty much if anything, it's just basically my own adaptation of course, the Disney World ride, Expedition Everest. So yeah, I guess if for what it is, I say that episode that I wrote out actually did turn out massively well for sure. I of course decided to stay true to the original Disney World ride that the episode is based on, while of course giving it a different twist to actually make it on the more epic and engaging for sure. And I guess in the end, I'm actually really glad on how it turned out, and I will admit, probably looking back, probably the first draft of the script that I wrote up is a little bit sloppy for sure, but again, I did try my best to, of course, make the material work for sure. So yeah, and of course, it's not just the script that I wrote up, but I also actually gained a lot of help from my dad, and of course, crafting the mountain that the ride is actually based on for sure, and I have to say, it was, of course, a lot of hard work for sure, and I'm really thrilled on how it turned out. Everything from the way we've actually sculpted the whole thing, and of course carved it, and of course painted the whole thing, made to look like a rock for sure. I'm actually really thrilled on how well the mounting actually turned out, and even getting to use my pretty much yeah, if I can pull it. Yeah, I think I do have that Sega. Yeah, the Risky Rails bridge drop head that I currently have, and of course John also has for sure. I'm actually really quite thrilled on how well the episode actually turned out for sure, with of course the mounting and everything. And I think I did recall, I think years after I actually wrote up the first draft for sure, John wanted to see if I can actually try my hand at, of course, writing a second draft for sure. And I have to say, I put a lot of hard work in, of course, the second draft for sure. So much so that, believe it or not, around 2015, when I actually got that pretty much the Hag script done for sure. And again, I did take up a lot of pretty much tips and tricks from, of course, my screenwriting class at college. I, of course, wrote out the second draft to the script, of course, on how, of course, with, of course, the format I will use to, of course, write up a screenplay for sure. So yeah, and of course, believe it or not, I actually did get that episode, yeah, pretty much the second draft of that episode done right around, of course, around 1 a.m. at night for sure. So yeah, that second draft was actually a lot of, put me a lot of hard work and determination to get done, that I literally got it done right around 1 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, I think you can pretty much get the idea on that front. But I guess it's after that, I did manage to, of course, get some nice bed rest. And of course, I got up pretty early because I had to go into my former job at my local hospital around the following day. I finished up the script for sure, but yeah, a lot of hard work has paid off just for me to sit back and relax, and of course, get plenty of rest for sure, just so that I can do more work outside of YouTube for sure. So yeah, I'm actually really quite thrilled the episode actually turned out so well. And of course, if you have looked on my channel for some time, I was of course kind enough to actually re-edit and re-upload the entire episode in full for John for sure. And yeah, I'm really quite thrilled on how well it turned out still, and currently, as of right now, it still currently stands as the #1 most popular video on the channel by far. So yeah, Expedition Thomas was, of course, really well worth it for sure. I'm really glad on how well it turned out for sure. So yeah, I guess I can pretty much say that on that front. So yeah, and of course, the final project that I'm going to be bringing up for sure is, of course, one that I did start working on around 2016, but sadly I stopped because I got plenty of other video projects that I had to work on around that said time, and that being, of course, seeing of how I did mention Sword Art Knights as, of course, one movie that I wanted to do for John. I tried my hand at, of course, crafting another movie for, of course, John's Thomas series, and that being, of course, the TOMY and Trackmaster T&F movie. And pretty much all it is, of course, a full-length feature film version of course, John's Thomas series for sure. And of course, pretty much what got me the Hatseg idea is that pretty much I believe John's sister pretty much thought of the idea that if I ever visit John again, which, yeah, by the way, this actually happened around my first time visiting Cape May, New Jersey, and actually visiting Trainboy 54 there. Pretty much of anything, Trainboy 54's sister around that time suggested that if I ever come back to, of course, pretty much the Cape May area, but now maybe John and I would actually work on a video together, And yeah, pretty much if anything, that actually did spark a bit of an idea for sure. So I kind of figured that maybe I think it would be a really interesting idea if I actually try my hand at, of course, pretty much doing a full-length feature film version of course, John's Thomas series for sure. And yeah, I think no full details on, of course, what the movie would have been about for sure, but needless to say, I think it would have actually been really grand and epic for sure, while of course being like a regular old episode of John's series for sure, so yeah, but like I said, I think I actually stopped writing the script around that time for sure, because I've got pretty much my college classes I had to work out on, and of course plenty of other video projects that I had in the works for some time now, so yeah. Yeah, I guess if anything, it is, of course, one of those projects that I have been working on for John for some time that still remains unfinished for sure, so yeah, hopefully maybe within a matter of time, I will eventually finish up the script for sure, or even better yet, I will, of course, give John what I got down so far, and see if there could be some massive tweaking for sure to actually make it all the more interesting for sure, and of course, what pretty much would have been really interesting ideas that I think it maybe would have sparked a whole cinematic universe between, of course, John's Thomas series and, of course, my own Thomas series, Thomas and Friends Island of Sword Adventures, where each of them, of course, would have gotten, of course, one single movie first. That will, of course, be followed up by, of course, one spin-off film, as well as, of course, two sequels to their first film, all leading to, of course, a massive crossover movie that's been built up for sure. So yeah, probably I think, if anything, would have been a little bit more of a condensed version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with, of course, a nice cup of course, Legendary Studios' Monsterverse for sure, or should I say, the first 4 films in the Monsterverse for sure, with, of course, pretty much the 2014 Godzilla movie with its sequel, King of the Monsters, as well as, of course, Kong Skull Island, all of which building up to, of course, Godzilla vs. Kong. So yeah, probably maybe more on the lines of course, that from for sure, but again, I think we'll leave that for John to decide on that one, so yeah, I guess if anything, those are pretty much the projects that I actually can list for sure, and other than that, the rest of my time on John's series, I've been actually voicing pretty much characters for, of course, his series for sure, so yeah, I guess overall, I'm actually really quite thrilled to actually be a part of John's series for sure. Does it have problems? Sure, but you know what? It's his take on, of course, the Thomas series for sure, but with, of course, his own unique twist for sure. And I think with what he's got currently going on now, I do hope he'll actually see about working on plenty of other projects for sure around that series for sure. So yeah, sort of similar to, of course, what I'm currently doing about now, but on a much more grander scale for sure. So yeah, I do hope to actually work on more of a John series later on for sure when the time comes for sure, and if I'm actually needed for some time. And again, I think with most of the projects I have listed for sure, it's sad to actually see pretty much one of them go for sure, but it is quite thrilling that, of course, one project is still intact for sure. That is, of course, really really fun to work on for sure, and of course, pretty much of anything, 1, 2, and of course, 3 projects that I worked on, hopefully maybe gain the proper treatment they deserve, or of course, actually come back into fruition for sure, but again, we're going to leave that for John to decide on that one. But either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what Trackmaster54 has in store with his TOMY and Trackmaster T&F series. So yeah. And I guess on that thought, I think I'll end the video here. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comment section below about if you have any fond memories of course, TOMY and Trackmaster T&F, as well as, of course, leaving me constructive criticism and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And as always, feel free to send me an email if you want to ask me any questions, or if you just want to book me for a con or event that'll be coming up sometime in the near future. Follow me on my social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and plenty of other social media sites I have provided with, of course, the links down in the description box below. And of course, support me on Patreon if you want to see sneak peeks to videos that I got coming up in the near future, as well as some other awesome rewards that will help fit into your budget. And if you enjoyed today's video, then give it a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And speaking of on my channel, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell and select all notifications if you want to see more videos like this coming up in the near future. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest video, and don't worry, there's going to be plenty more on the way. I've got plenty of really great ones that I want to get out for sure, so I'll do my best to get out as much as I can for sure. So yeah, gonna be really busy for me right about now, but I'm really excited for sure. So yeah, I guess until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.